Hi, today I would like to show you how to make a lyric video in falling style.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door.
I was inspired by one video game which was popular a couple months ago. If you are new to After Effects, I would recommend you to go to my Skillshare course where I make the same lyric video, but I make it slowly and I explain everything in detail. You will be able to create this lyric video with me step by step. So let's begin. Let's create a new composition. Let's name it main comp. You can create in any resolution you want. I will create it in 1080p, 25 frames per second. Let's create a background. So new solid. I already have the color. It is 962 CEB. I will name it BG for background. Now we need more details. I will draw a rectangular. Make sure that stroke is disabled and the fill is solid color. I will choose the fill. I already have a color. That's 7B13CF. I will add an effect, the turbulent displace. Because I already made the course, I know the numbers which I used. So I used 1926 and it looks like this. When we move the evolution, it is moving. So that will create the moving background effect. When we slide our timeline, we don't see any movement. We need to make the evolution move while we go in time. We will need an expression. Let's go to turbulent displace, evolution, press Alt and the left mouse button. Write time times 1000. It will multiply the time by 1000 and when we will move, it will move the background. There is one bug. I think that's the bug of After Effects or limitations of After Effects. It stops at around 90. We will fix that, but at first I would like to create another shape by Ctrl D. I will make that a little bit smaller. I would like to make it a little bit different than this one. As I told you, it stops around 30 seconds. So I will cut that at 30 seconds. I will pre-compose those. Probably shapes, that's the best name for it. And I will enable time remapping. Let's add a loop out expression. And now it is looped out. Loop out expression also have one bug. At actual frame it disappears, but we can fix that by going back one frame, enable frame and replacing this frame. So now we don't have any problems with that. We already have a background. Let's pre-compose this. Pre-compose BG. Now we can create the text. New and text. Let's name it text. I will use the font which is named Titan 1. You can find it on Google Fonts. You can find it everywhere. Let's increase the size a little bit and let's make it in the center. First, I would like to make it 3D. If we will open another viewer, you could see that the text is just a plane and it doesn't have any weight. We would like to extrude it. We need to change the 3D renderer. Now we are in Classic 3D, we need to change in Cinema 4D. I explain more differences between those views in my course. But if we would open a new viewer again, now we can extrude this text. We can go to geometry options and extrusion depth. Well, let's increase this. Now you can see that it is extruded. I will add the color to the sides. It would look a little bit different and we now see the extrusion depth better. I will change the color to the similar color to this, just a little bit darker. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we can disable this view. In this view, we don't see any depth. We don't see those sides that we saw in other view. That's why we will add a little bit of movement. First of all, I will go to the position and I will separate the dimensions. In that way, I will have control over all the dimensions. So first of all, I would like to make the text move a little bit up and down. That will give us a better feeling of the text falling down while it stays in the middle of the screen. I will add a wiggle effect and I will add the values of 2 and 15. So let's preview it really quick. You see that it's moving up and down infinitely, so that's what we need. Another thing, I will add the same expression to the X position, just with a little bit different values. So for X I will add 3 and 3, and now it will move to the X axis slightly. I don't want to add any values to Z axis, so let's go to the rotation. I would like to rotate it on Y-axis a little bit and on X-axis a little bit. I don't really need rotation on Z-axis, maybe slightly, but not much. Let's get back. So let's add the same wiggle effect here with values 2 and 20. Wiggle on Y-axis with values 2 and 2. And let's add Z rotation. Same wiggle, 2 and 5. And let's see how it looks. I run preview a couple of seconds and it looks like that. It's moving on the middle of the screen and it looks like it's falling. We would like to make it fall from the top, stay on the middle of the screen a little bit and fall down. So let's animate that with the keyframes. Just press B, add a keyframe on Y position, and in the beginning move it out of the screen, somewhere here. Now let's go to the endpoint, add another keyframe and move it out of the screen on the bottom. We will add ease and we will adjust the speed graph a little bit. If you see a different view, you might be on value graph, so go to speed graph, move is here, move is here. So let's have a look how it looks now. I think that looks quite good. We can move to creating particles. So create a new solid. I will make it white, but it doesn't really matter. I will name it particles. Let's search for effect particle world. Yes, you see particle world. Let's change some settings. First of all, physics. We need the particles move up, so we need to change the gravity to negative gravity, -1 I think works the best. Let's decrease the velocity to 0. Let's change the producer and increase the radius. Yeah, something like that. Let's move the bottom down. Let's decrease the birth rate because we have way too much particles. Now we can change the particle from line to lens convex. We can add directional blur, which will help us to create a look of lines instead of bubbles. So we have those lines shooting up. They are not very visible. That's why we will change the alpha levels. So let's search for levels effect. Yep, this one. Let's change RGB to alpha. And let's move this slider till you are happy. I will leave it somewhere here. Now we need to decrease the size of those lines because they are way too thick. 0.1 worked the best on my tutorial, so I think I will leave it like that. I will decrease the directional blur. I will make those lines a little bit shorter, something like that. I think we still have way too much lines, so I will decrease the amount of those particles by expanding the radius. I noticed that the particle is on top of the text, so I will move it below the text. That's basically it. We created the text, we created the background. Now we just need to create the lyrics. Let's import the song, and here it is. We can press double L to enable waveform. I will add a couple of lines of lyrics to show you how it's done. Basically, we have this text we can easily duplicate by Ctrl D, of course, and we can add our text. I will add this beautiful morning. Let's decrease the size of it. I'll press U to see the keyframes. This line of lyrics starts here and it ends somewhere here. Let's create another one by duplicating it. We know that it starts somewhere here, and that turns into E. Let's press U to see the keyframes. Okay, that starts another line. So let's duplicate this, add here, press U to see the keyframes. We already wanted to have a beautiful evening here. I will need this text to start to move down already. And you create the lyrics for whole song by just doing this again and again. So yeah, that was a quick tutorial, but if you want a full course, you can find it on my Skillshare. That's about an hour length course in which I explain everything in more detail and I go slowly, and that course is beginner friendly. If you are new to After Effects, I would highly recommend to watch it. Thank you for watching, and if you like this tutorial, leave me a comment. If you created a lyric video in this style, tag me on any social media as SBLJ. I really enjoy seeing what my students create. That's a lot of fun. And see you in the next video.
Keep the worries away, I gotta dance just a little bit, move to be free. Keep my head up, don't forget to be me. Like I won $1 million, like I hit the pay dirt. Gonna smile from ear to ear, the kind that makes a face.